So tell me one thing, Govind, why most of the startups fail today?
A lot of startups, they were starting up and shutting down kind. I feel that's true for many of the startups.
Do you have any interesting story that you would like to talk about from your experience? After COVID, what big changes did you see in hiring?
Like that's where I feel like, we see
Why so many GCCs setting up in India? And all these setups are GCCs? 3 years, three companies.
so that it's a win-win for both the organization and the employee.
Do you think is AI really helping to the recruiters or replacing them?
Attracting the human to the organization.
Imagine if recruiting is going to be 100% automated. So how do you see the future of recruitment with AI?
This is one step.
I have one interesting question to you.
You need to think out of the box, like, where you can find
Is recruitment really a thankless job?
making them be a part of the vision and drive things. That's where
Welcome to TalentDNA. TalentDNA is where leaders and recruiters share their journeys, challenges, and the DNA of hiring. Today, we have Govind. He has worked with top product teams at Google and Facebook, and now he has started his own venture called TA Intel. He has seen how the recruiting industry is growing and changing. He knows the challenges and also the opportunities. In this podcast, we'll talk about how TA has evolved, the challenges he faced, and how this industry is going to shape up. Let's get started. Govind, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Govind Pebbety. I'm the co-founder of TA Intel. TA Intel is a recruiting agency primarily focused on hiring for tech startups. I have 2 decades of recruiting experience. I started my career with agency recruiting, and my corporate journey has been with companies like Facebook, Google, and my last stint was with Indeed. And all throughout my career, my focus has been to build thriving organizations by attracting right talent. At the same time, building meaningful careers for the job seekers.
What is the objective of your organization, Govind? Tell about your organization a little bit more. That would be helpful for us.
Sure. At TA Intel, we focus on building tech startups because tech startups seek to hire best of the talent, but they don't have a seasoned recruiting experience to attract and engage the talent, because candidate engagement becomes very crucial when it comes to technical hiring. Unless we invoke the purpose in a job seeker on why to be a part of a particular startup, they won't be fully engaged through the interview process, which may not lead to the right result. So we kind of focus on carrying the vision of the founder to the job seeker, and understanding the job seeker career journey and career aspirations. We kind of pitch in the role and make them see the value proposition in taking up that job. So that kind of gives us a better engaged talent, which will, go through the journey and, ultimately becoming a meaningful engagement to the employer.
Okay, great. Why startups? Why not enterprises?
Yeah, like I was telling, like, startups need more curated approach to attract talent and engage the talent. Most importantly, the engagement piece will not come unless, we invoke the purpose in the job seeker. So we at TA Intel do career conversations with candidates, try and understand what their technical competencies are and what their career aspirations are, and accordingly pitch a particular role with a startup so that they see a value proposition in, investing themselves in the recruiting process.
Got it. Okay. So tell me one thing, Govind. Why most of the startups fail today?
I read in some book like, we don't lose in a business, but like, we kind of give up before we succeed. We kind of give up before we succeed. I feel that's true for many of the startups. So they don't have enough, they don't start with enough roadmap for them to sustain. If they persist with their efforts, more often than not, like, startups can succeed is what I feel.
So do you feel mostly they are failing because of funding or because of lack of planning, or there is no proper objective before they start?
It can be a mix of all of these factors that you're mentioning, but primarily I see it as the vision of the founder, right? Unless they believe in it truly and invest themselves into it long enough to succeed, they won't be able to, see through its success.
Do you have any interesting story that you would like to talk about from your experience?
Yeah, like, I'm sharing a experience of mine. Like, this is about 10 years ago, when we were hiring for one of my previous organizations. Like, we were hiring tech talent from Australia, because Australian citizens don't require a H-1B visa to work in US. But back then, like, there was very minimal presence of job seekers online in Australia in particular. So we had to resort to other alternative measures. So then we took it to Twitter, and, in Twitter you can put latitude and longitude of a particular place, for example, Sydney or Melbourne, and then look out for people who are talking about distributed systems and all the complex things, low latency, software development and all that, and try and get the names from Twitter, and then look them up on internet and try to reach them for a job, pitching the job opportunity is what we were doing.
Got it. So looks like this is one of the creative or innovative model that I have seen so far. Do you want to talk about more in detail?
Yeah, sure. Like, you need to think out of the box, like, where you can find the talent that you want to hire. And once you find it, you need to attract them for your opportunity, right? So, like, for which one needs a deep sense of business so that they can pitch the opportunity to the job seeker accordingly, so that it can invoke a purpose for them to own the role.
So here you used to sell more from job seeker point of view or employer point of view?
It is a bit of both, I would say. Like, we need to understand business thoroughly,
Okay.
and also understand the job seeker, where they are in their career journey and what their career aspirations are. And accordingly think about a particular role meeting those career aspirations, and then making the job seeker understand why they should be taking up this role. It will help them be better engaged with the process.
After COVID, what big changes did you see in hiring, Govind?
Like, companies are able to understand that employees can operate remotely in a meaningful way, contributing. Like, that's where I feel like, we see a lot of GCCs coming to India, because they understand that we have, very good technical talent. At the same time, it is cost effective measure for them to build a GCC in India.
But GCs were coming before COVID as well, right?
Not at this volume. They were coming, but not at this volume, I would say. Like, now you see every other day, like, there is some announcement of a GCC coming to India. That is because of, all these factors like cost effectiveness, availability of technical talent. And most importantly, we match US in particular, like, the time zone mapping is better. Like, when US sleeps, India is awake.
Any other big changes that you have observed post COVID?
Yeah, in hiring also, like, hiring managers are more empathetic when it comes to looking at the resumes where there were short stints on the resume. So they are trying to understand why it was so. Earlier, it used to be the case, like, they used to label them as job hoppers and, put them aside. Now they're trying, asking the question like, why did they have a shorter stint in these two companies? So that recruiters are also checking with the job seeker and making it a case in case if they were impacted by layoffs or like, company got shut down. So these things, employers are more empathetic about these
Okay.
days.
So you made one interesting point here. Post COVID, I think people are changing the jobs very frequently, correct? But when hiring managers are looking into the resume, they think that, hey, why this guy is changing very frequently? So, like more or less, hiring managers are not interested to shortlist such profiles, correct? So, how do we make sure that the hiring manager should be interested for such profiles, Govind?
So we as recruiters, we need to understand from the job seeker in terms of why they had a short stint in at a particular company. It could be the reason, like at times, like there could be personal reasons also, but many a times post COVID, a lot of startups, they were starting up and shutting down kind. So understanding those scenarios of layoffs, personal reasons, or like companies getting shut down, will help the recruiter build a better case when they are sharing a resume with the hiring manager.
But 3 years, three companies is a big change, right? So even though when we make like maybe 10 good data points, hiring manager may not be interested because he always thinks that there is a lot of pool available in the market, correct? He doesn't want to shortlist such profiles. In that case, do you have any interesting point where we can share it to the hiring manager, right? So that the candidate shortlisting would be high in this case.
So we can take the help of the career conversation that we have with candidates, so that if we understand that this is the opportunity that they've been looking for in their earlier stints, which were shorter than usual, so that like maybe we it is an opportunity for us to make a hire because it is meeting their career aspirations and they are competent to be successful in a particular role. So that it's a win-win for both the organization and the employee.
So now looking at the into the current scenario, do you think is AI really helping to the recruiters or replacing them?
No, AI can't replace recruiters, is what I feel. Though many people might have a different opinion about it, but like AI will be instrumental in a recruiter's success. So a recruiter needs to adopt AI and tailor make its services, to meet the business needs. That's where is a better
Okay.
middle ground.
Okay. But Gartner report says, right, 30% of the recruiting will be automated by 2026. So what is your take on this?
Yeah, like all the transactional jobs, like which can be done through AI, will be replaced, by AI tools. But understanding a job seeker's motivation and even engaging with a job seeker, a human would do a better job at engaging with the job seeker and taking them through the journey versus an AI tool, because AI may or may not have that kind of human touch.
But not only recruiting, globally, if you see, entire investment is going into AI nowadays. So in that case, I feel that still I think 60% of the recruiting is going to be automated by 2026. So I feel that. Do you have any points? Do you want to add it here?
No, like we can't label it in terms of 60% or 50% kind. AI will be an enabler for recruiters' success, but recruiter will be needed to give that human touch, because ultimately you are attracting a human to the organization.
Imagine if recruiting is going to be 100% automated.
No, I can't imagine that because I feel then everything can be automated, be it like development or any other thing.
Recently, if you see some articles from which is posted by different organizations, they say that 70% of the code has been written by AI, right? 80% of the code has been written by AI, right? So how about recruiting then? So that's where I quoted. I think maybe recruiting also will be automated to some extent, which is close to 60%.
Yeah, so see all these AI will be a tool, but again, you need a human to understand what is appropriate in a particular case, and how much, you can do it with AI, and what are the parts that need to be taken care of, like by a human. So always there will be a balance of both, yes, certainly all the transactional stuff will get delegated to AI, but more strategic stuff needs to come from human, because AI can only do
Okay.
or learn, based on the previous cases.
Okay. So how do you see the future of recruitment with AI?
Yeah, there is no second thoughts about not using AI. Everybody needs to adapt to AI. It's like internet, revolution earlier on. This is one step, ahead into things. So everybody needs to adapt to AI and use it to their own advantage.
So it is going to be more tool driven in the coming days?
Yeah, tool driven, and also, the way you, like the human behind the tool, the way they are understanding the tool's outcome, and what is the need of the hour. So the balance needs to be there.
So I've been in the industry close to like 17, 18 years, right? I have one interesting question to you. Is recruitment really a thankless job?
Many a times, recruitment seems like a thankless job, but thankfully, organizations now understand importance of strategic recruiting function, and they are seeing recruiters as business partners, right? So they are involving them in terms of making them understand the business, and making them be a part of the vision and drive things. That's where you see a holistic success in all the major organizations comes from, integrating recruiting function with the business.
But survey shows 50% of the recruiters are undervalued.
Yeah, that could be the case in, in services sector and all, like where people are under a lot of pressure of different timelines, meeting timelines. So there, things can be little undermined. But otherwise, I see a healthy change in corporates where they see recruiting as a part of the business function.
Why so many GCCs setting up in India?
Right. So India has that strategic advantage of being a country with good technical talent pool, and also it is cost effective in comparison to the spending in dollars, right? And also the most important thing is, there is a better time zone overlap, right? We provide the coverage when US sleeps, like India awakes, and there is a proper overlap of taking care of things, be it in terms of DevOps or site reliability engineering. We provide a better overlap in terms of time zone.
And all these setups are GCCs?
Yeah, most of them are GCCs, and post COVID, people did understand, technical talent, at a product level can be operated remotely. That's where even today, there are startups which are okay hiring remote talent. I've seen startups based out of other countries without having any legal entity in India. They are hiring technical talent and understanding how it goes in terms of their growth, and then setting up the legal entities and taking it from there.
Okay. So recent survey shows that India has close to 1700 GCCs and it's going to be 2400 by 2030. Do you think we are going to see that drastic change in the market?
Certainly, why not? Because we have the talent pool and demographic dividend of, younger workforce, who are technically capable to handle these jobs.
Okay.
And other, like I mentioned, other factors which certainly help GCCs flourish in India.
So what kind of talent that these GCCs are looking into, Govind?
Mostly technical talent, at a product level.
Okay.
Like they are seeking people who have high agency and good technical competencies, and good collaboration skills, so that it's a team effort that wins, gets the win.
See, Govind, nowadays layoffs are very common. So, what do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, organizations need to be mindful when they are hiring headcounts because it is a tool, like, organization lays off an, employees and all, like, it becomes very difficult for them to attract the talent again. So there is always, if a job seeker has an option of choosing a company A versus B, and A had layoffs a year ago or something, and B never had any layoffs, they would naturally choose B or A because of this history. But, at times it may not be, in their hands to, not to lay off these employees, but like they need to be mindful of their long-term plans and accordingly hire the talent so that they foresee these kind of changes beforehand.
Govind, what is one thing that seems obvious to you that most of the people are missing?
In general, recruiting approaches hiring by mapping the keywords from resume and selling the opportunity to the job seeker. Instead, if a recruiter can do a career conversation with a job seeker, try and understand what their competencies are and what their career aspirations are, and try and understand if this opportunity would meet those aspirations. That way, they'll be able to create a better engagement with the job seeker, and that will yield more meaningful results in hiring, is what I feel. Because someone may be doing something till yesterday, but they might aspire to do something different from today on. So this conversation will, put them in a better place to map them to a particular opportunity.
Govind, you have to share one very good tip to the candidates. You might have interviewed a lot of people. What is one pro tip that you would like to share for someone to be successful in the interview?
Great question. I feel like, if someone can, just before going through an interview, if they can understand the job description thoroughly, what responsibilities do they need to carry, and what competencies are required to be successful in that particular role, and what is the vision of the organization, and if one can prepare a statement of purpose in understanding why they want to own that particular role, like write down one pager statement of purpose why they want to be in a particular role, and read that when before attending each interview with that organization. That will put them in a different dimension when they answer the questions during the interview, is what I feel.
Thank you so much, Govind, for coming to our podcast, and thank you so much for sharing these many inputs.
Thank you so much, Rajiv, for inviting me. Loved this conversation.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.